Okay, so what we're gonna do is create a new R Markdown file. Great. I'm gonna treat you all a little secret. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna erase everything, and what I'm gonna start doing are erase. I'm gonna erase just this stuff. All right. And so what I'm gonna do now is sometimes I'm gonna keep a chunk of code that what I need. Okay, so library tidyverse, library read Excel, library core plot. We'll talk about that in a moment. The actual directory at which my file is saved, and this is my I'm gonna talk more about this data set in a moment. One of the things that you have to do this week is install these two packages. Install packages. You need to install core plot. That's what we're going to use today in a moment, and that in this next video. And then we're going to install class. Okay, talk more about that later. All right, so one of the things I want to do is run these lines. Okay, so if you already installed or downloaded the Kaggle data set and saved it, you should already have this data set. Okay, so this is small business data frame. Okay, small business data frame is here. You have three variables. I would argue a profit is your response variable, and the rest are your explanatory variables. But let's play around a little bit. Okay, so one of the first things I want to do with this data set, our data frame, is talk about mutating some more. So again, this is data science, so we're talking more about manipulating the data set, or doing, I call it data gymnastics. All right, so I'm gonna create a new R chunk, talk about this data frame, use the pipe, and I'm gonna use mutate. All right, so the first mutate I'm gonna talk about is detect. Okay, detect allows me to detect if something is in a column. So we're going to primarily work with the categorical data, the state variable. Let's say I want to detect if New York is actually in this one of the state columns. So what I mean is I'm going to create a new variable. Let's say is New York. Okay, is NY. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this function called str.dete detect, and I'm going to use the state function. State variable. My apologies. State variable, and I'm going to see if it actually has if it has New York in it. So NY New York. Okay, so that's that. So I'm going to just call this mod. I'm going to use the same data frame the entire time. Mod 1. I'll be consistent business. So I'm my first modification, and I am working with this data frame, and I'm mutating. I want to see if this actual variable, this variable actually contains New York or not. So let's do that. So run this, and I view my mod 1. And so what it does is if I rank this, let's do from true, all the trues are going to denote where I have New York. Okay. You may not see the purpose and the benefit of is detect yet, but it's quite beneficial. And you'll see, actually, no, you won't see it today, but it's actually really beneficial. Okay. All right, so another thing that we can do, I'm gonna actually just put a comma here. I can do that. I can do multiple mutates at once. I'm gonna do replace. Okay, string replace. So let's say new state. Let's say you're working with some interns, right? And some interns made a mistake. They said, California is really. It's not California. It's a lot of words, a lot of letters. Let's use Florida. Let's say instead of using Florida, they meant to say Georgia. Okay, so what we're gonna do is called string replace. Okay. And let's say for state, wherever they said Florida, I want to replace it with Georgia. Shout out to my Georgians, people who are from Georgia. No one's from Georgia watching this. All right, new state. Okay, run this. Okay, so right now I have 8 or 7 variables because now I still have my detect if it's Florida or not. New York or not. Now I'm gonna replace everything that's Florida with Georgia. Okay. And so when I do this, I'll go here. Okay, my new state, wherever I see Florida, all of them are now Georgia. Okay, that's cool. Cool stuff. Last but not least, this remove, but this remove is not important. I'm just going to mention there's a lot of string functions that you can do here. One way of looking more about these string functions is to go to help and type within search. The package name is called string R. It's within the tidyverse, so you don't have to load it up. Let's see, it doesn't show all the string functions, does it? It doesn't. That's fine. If you just do string underscore, you see all the string functions. Okay, you can do string match, you can string replace, replace all, split, sort. There's a lot of string functions that you can do. Okay, and right next to it touches the package it's coming from. All right. So with that being said, the last but not least thing that I want to show you all is within this video is to create a scatter plot. Okay. But before I show you how to do that scatter plot, let me actually do something to make our lives a lot easier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a function called call names. I think I already showed you this before, but it's fine. What I'm gonna do is if I do this, I can see all the column names. But the thing is, those spaces, I don't want to confuse you all with more syntax. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna replace those spaces with underscores. I don't know if you notice I always do that. That's intentional. So one of the ways I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna do string replace all. Okay, and I'm going to take my column names again. You'll see this is confusing. This column names again. So what I'm going to do is replace. I'm going to take my column names and I'm going to replace them with the actual. I'm going to look for spaces and I'm going to replace the spaces with underscores. Okay. So the reason why I'm doing that is so that I don't have to teach you more complicated code. So let me just do that. Run this and say, okay, nothing's there. Great. Please, I know that in your videos for your homework or something, you might say, nothing happened, okay? Nothing was supposed to happen. However, if I look at it again, if I look at my column names again, what I'll notice is that all my spaces are gone. All my spaces are gone. So that's good. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the ggplot. So plotting. So ggplot is a technique or the tool, the function for me to plot my functions, plot my data with the mod 1 SM business data frame. What I'm going to do is, SM, by the way, stands for supermarket. If you look at the supermarket. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about AES. AES is aesthetics. I'm going to have an X-axis and a Y-axis. And I'm just going to arbitrarily just choose promotional spend. Oh, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to use advertisement spend. And I'm going to say Y is equal to profit. Okay. All right, so in order for me to create this, to make this a scatter plot, I'm going to use a layer. I'll call this a layer. So my layer is going to be a geom point. Okay, geom point. So I want to create points. And so when I do this, to make things look better, I like to just give another layer called theme BW. You can not use it, but I do because it makes things look better for me. So this is the scatter plot. Oh, wow. Okay, let's actually zoom out a little bit. Can I zoom out? Control minus. Okay. Something's going on here. I would probably do a transformation if maybe, but you can see there's a linear association, right? Positive, strong linear association. We'll talk more about the bells and whistles of making plots look better later in this week, but I just want to show you this because it's going to make the machine learning technique for this, for today, the second video, make a little bit more sense. So this is how we plot the relationship between two variables, at least using two quantitative variables. Okay? Good job. Thank you.